The Traitors New Zealand returned with an entertaining Season 2. Unlike Season 1, Season 2 wasn't filled with celebs or a group of people that knew each other well enough that they introduced them to their significant other or previously worked with each other. With a total of 7 traitors during the whole of Season 2, there might have been some questions to whether or not a traitor would actually deceive the faithfuls enough to make it to the end and win the prize pot. Despite a highly successful rate of banishing traitors, the faithfuls failed at the final hurdle. I'm going to take a look at 5 key factors that helped one of the 7 traitors, Bailey, take home the prize pot.
Would you rather be a faithful or a traitor?
I'm perfectly 50-50 actually.
Jane, Mike and Whitney were originally chosen as traitors. Their first task in the role was to tempt a faithful. They chose Jackie and she accepted, not knowing she was picked as bait to be banished. With Jackie's early banishment in episode 4, Mike turning on Whitney in episode 5, which subsequently exposed him and led to his banishment in episode 7, it left Jane as the last traitor standing. Jane was given the task to pick 2 faithfuls, one to blackmail, one to murder. She chose Bailey and Mark. Bailey wasn't Jane's original pick, as Jane had picked Mark for the traitor role with the idea to murder Bailey. As Mark had said no, he was eliminated and Bailey became a traitor. Jane was promptly banished the next night, which meant the faithfuls didn't have a clue who could possibly be a traitor. It also meant that Bailey was able to make a huge decision on their own without worrying about somebody else's game plan for that one night. While Bailey was with the majority who voted for Terry, she had suspicions about Jane at the start. Bailey then voted for Jane in the second banishment, though many didn't share the same suspicion. Episode 6 saw Bailey vote for Mike, but it was episode 7 which finally saw Bailey vote for the banished traitor of that night when she voted for Mike again. Bailey teaming up with Utah, who was trusted by most to banish Mike, would have helped her stand in. That might have played a part in Jane's decision to want to initially murder Bailey. Bailey's suspicions of Jane didn't come good until episode 8. Bailey started off that episode being a traitor with Jane and ended the day in the role alone, being one of the votes to banish Jane. Though the faithful should have questioned how her luck had changed, Bailey wasn't scrutinised as being a traitor until the last couple of episodes. After Jane's banishment, Bailey was the only traitor left, meaning she needed to blackmail a faithful. Instead of going for someone like Noel, who would have been a bait pick, Bailey chose to blackmail Cialy. This choice led to some pivotal moves that both collectively made that left the traitors in a good position to win. The choice to get rid of Utah, who was very influential amongst the faithfuls. After being one of the main faithfuls involved in getting rid of 2 traitors, it was the best move for both of them to make to remain in the game, but it also took a key person away from the alliance, which Cialy was also part of. Recruiting Ben was the next move. As it was a seduction, Ben didn't have to accept, and it ended up being a bad move on his part. His acceptance ended up giving the faithfuls an opportunity to banish another traitor, with Ben only lasting a day in his new role. The key one was Donna, but before I talk about her, I first want to mention Utah. Though it wasn't really an alliance, the 2 of them getting together and talking about their suspicions of Mike was pivotal to Mike's banishment. Having Utah on her side, if for a brief moment, would have helped her stand in amongst the other faithfuls, especially as she was one at the time. Though it didn't necessarily have too much of a bearing, Bailey's alliance with Jason could have given her an advantage that wasn't obvious to see in the edits. Jason did eventually come to the conclusion that Bailey was a traitor, but he didn't get the votes to banish her when needed at the Fire of Truth. Donna was the biggest key, which will lead us to the next point. Donna, Joe and Jason were the 3 faithfuls remaining. Donna had so much tunnel vision over Noel being a traitor that it didn't seem clear who she would go for until she told Bailey she would vote the same way as her. Joe was fully trusting Cialy, so he was not going to vote for him, but Joe thought the traitors were Bailey and Jason. Jason, who had figured out that both Bailey and Cialy were the traitors, was a tie-breaking vote, which saw Cialy banished. The Fire of Truth could have had a tied vote, but Joe didn't stick with his previous vote for Bailey and instead voted for Jason. That move proved to be a bad one, as this meant Joe was banished because Bailey and Donna voted for him. Donna once again voted along with Bailey, which saw Jason eliminated. As mentioned earlier, Bailey's alliances were a key part to her game. None of them were as pivotal to her win as her alliance with Donna. Donna was too focused on Noel through most of the game that she wasn't able to see the traitor standing right in her face for the last third of the season. Bailey might not have wanted the scenario where she would have to reveal to Donna that she was a traitor, but it ended up being what she needed to happen to win as the last episode proceeded. Bailey was able to navigate her way as both a faithful and a traitor and played both roles very well. With a little help on the way with some good gameplay and some questionable moves by others, Bailey was victorious in a very good season 2 for New Zealand. If you want to take a look at the 5 keys to Harry's win on season 2 of the Traitors UK, click on this video.